boat trip. No wonder it's called Venice, because it looks like Venice, this part. But they couldn't build it really. They tried to, but they failed to create a Venice because it was apparently hard to dig it all the way into making the Venice out of Petersburg. That's what really the Tsar intended, to make a Venice over here, to build another one. But sometimes the nature just breaks.
Welcome on board. Can you hear me well? Yes, good. So we start our nice trip on our rivers and canals. We start this tour from the Moika River, one of the small rivers, natural river. It was the city boundary till 1709. St Petersburg is located in the delta of the Neva River. We will see our main waterway. There are over 65 rivers and canals in St. Petersburg, and there are many beautiful buildings on both sides of the Moika River. On our left-hand side, there is a yellow facade of the General Staff Army building. This is its side facade. The semicircular main facade is visible from the Palace Square, and this building is famous for the fact that it has the longest facade in Europe. In the 19th century, this building was constructed. This is the bridge above us, the Bridge of Singers. To control the water level in the Moika River during the numerous floods. The name of this canal is due to its location by the Winter Island. One more island is on our left, the Yenisari Island. The original Finnish name of this island is Yenisari, or Island of Pears. You know, this place was not wild in the beginning of the 18th century. Here were several Finnish, Swedish, Russian settlements, and from this island, from this fortress, our modern history started. On the island, the fortress was built by order of Peter I. The legend has it, Peter I personally inspected the delta of the Neva River, chose an island where Neva River branched off two arms, and started to build a fortress. The name of this fortress, St. Petersburg, and later the name of the fortress gave name to the city, St. Petersburg. So our city was named not after Peter the Great or Peter Saltpeter. The fortress was built on the island in the shape of the stretched hexagon. Three bastions to the left of us. And the bastions were given names of those who supervised the construction of the fortress. And Peter I supervised the construction of one of the bastions, and there is Tsar's bastion, Narishkin, Menshikov bastions, associates of Peter I. Bastions are connected by curtain walls, curtains, and the walls are very high, up to 12 meters high, and very thick, up to 20 meters thick. On the territory of the fortress there is Peter and Paul Cathedral, is the Orthodox religion in Russia. Russia was converted into Orthodoxy in 10th century, and we have now about 200 churches in St. Petersburg. We had more before 1917, but many churches were destroyed by Bolsheviks. Now please have a look to the right, and you will see the spire of the chapel. That orange building is a castle of Paul I. Can you see it to the right with the spire? Yes. Paul I, son of Catherine II, lived in the fear of assassination all his life and ordered to build this castle for him with secret chambers, secret staircases, but he was assassinated in his bedroom. The copy of the 18th century ship. The name of the ship is Flagman. To the right of the ship, there is 19th century palace, very small, very cozy. On the top of the palace now, there is a flag of Russia. To the right of us is one more canal. You see, the name is very romantic, the Swan Canal. This canal and the river Neva and the Fountain River and the Moika River surround the summer garden of Peter I. So to the right of us is the first public garden in Russia. It is called the Summer Garden. It was laid out by order of Peter I. And the beautiful railing, the beautiful fence was made later, in late 18th century, by the architects Felden and Yegorov. This fence is one of the finest examples of Russian ironworks. The granite columns are decorated with vases and urns, and parts, some details of this railing were gilded. There is a legend. After the Communist Revolution, American businessmen offered 100 steam machines to the young Soviet Republic. They wanted to have this beautiful railing, but the Minister of Culture, who was a man of noble origin, very educated man, Lunacharsky, refused and preserved this beautiful railing for the next generations. There were fountains and marble sculptures in the summer garden, but in 1777 all sculptures and fountains were destroyed because there was catastrophic frog lions or lion frogs. They were brought from China in 1903 and placed here. The banks of the Neva River were clad in granite in the 18th century by order of Catherine II. And behind this big building we can see the TV tower. TV tower. Yes, behind the building. To the right of this beige building, there is blue 19th century structure, 19th century building. It's very nice, very impressive. In the 19th century, in Tsushima battle, 1905. She participated in the First World War, and in 1917, the Aurora cruiser was wounded and was here in St Petersburg. She was anchored by the bridge, not far from the Winter Palace, not here. On the 25th of October 1917, the cruiser gave a blank shot to the direction of the Winter Palace. That was a signal to revolutionary soldiers and seamen, and Hitler wanted to conquer Leningrad and then to erase the city from the face of the earth. But his plan failed. Hitler never came here. But Leningrad was surrounded. The siege lasted for 900 days and nights. And the guns from the Aurora cruiser were dismantled and placed on Pulkovo Hills, not far from St Petersburg. There the Nazis were stopped. The Pulkovo Hills are at the distance of 16 kilometers from St Petersburg. Canals, even the Gulf of Finland freezes. Icebreakers work on the territory of the commercial port, and our commercial port works all year round. But St. Petersburg is a river port, but our river port does not operate in winter time. We don't cross our rivers and canals on the ice. We don't skate on the ice on our rivers and canals because the ice is not smooth, it is rough. Petersburg. And they formed flotilla there, and Peter was the leader. The ships sailed down the river Neva as far as Peter's residence in the town of Strelna, where nice swimming house. This is coffee house. Our emperors and empress and noblemen would have a cup of coffee in this pavilion. Have a look to the left, please. The building on our left is former school of lawyers. The school is famous for the fact that Peter Tchaikovsky, world-famous composer, studied here in the School of Lawyers. He was a lawyer by something. So to the left of us is one more elegant pavilion designed by the Italian architect Carlo Rossi. To the left is the Michael Palace and Michael Garden. To the right of us is the Field of Mars. On the outskirts of ancient Rome was Field of Mars. Mars is an ancient god of war. The Field of Mars in Rome was meant for drilling soldiers, and our Field of Mars had the same purpose. But in the 20th century, victims of 3 Russian revolutions were buried in the very late 18th century. The building has been recently restored. On our left-hand side is a sad-looking building, but it has very rich history. This is from a royal stable department. It was meant for royal carriages. It was not far from the palace, not far from the Winter Palace. And royal carriages, there was even the saying, the first got married to the first. The first poet married the first beauty, and she was involved. Alexander Pushkin had a duel with French officer Dantes, and he was working with it until days he died in his flat. We will see in the building. Now I'd like to mention the last palace that is on our right-hand side. I mean the greenish building with white pilasters and the balcony. This is the real last palace. It was built in 1916. No more palaces were built in St. Petersburg. In the 19th century, the banks of the Moika River, this area was one of the most fashionable parts of St. Petersburg. There were banks, ministries, embassies on the banks of the Moika River. And now this is the very center of St. Petersburg. Now please have a look to the right. From our boat you can see the gift shop. To the right, it is called Heritage. Heritage, yes, this is our...
Because going back, I see it looks a bit, catch the color over here. It's a very big square, very huge, big buildings all over the place. Apparently all of this is part of the museum that we saw yesterday. Look at that. It's very colorful. I love it. It's a Russian flag. Buses. Tourists. They're all over the place. But to go back, go to the ship hotel. It's not hotel, go back to boat.